What's up? So the Season 10 Fortnite event is coming out tomorrow, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And as that date has been approaching, a lot of people have been expecting that we are going to be transferred into a new season right after that event. Or more specifically now, what people are referring to as a brand new chapter. That's right, Fortnite Chapter 2. And that's what I want to talk about today. The Italian mobile app store leaked the next chapter of Fortnite. Nice going, Italy. Jokes aside though, we've been given a teaser image for the new season that gives us a whole bunch of confirmations of what is actually coming. And today, that's what I want to look at. We're going to look at that image to figure out some things that are 100% confirmed and also talk about some things that I think are like a 90% chance of coming into the game. Anyways, if you guys are hungry for some more Fortnite content, we're going to be grinding this whole week, so subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like, and let's get into it. All right, so the first and most obvious thing we see from this Fortnite Chapter 2 teaser is obviously a new map. And a new map is something that people have been speculating for a very long time now, but this is basically our 100% confirmation that it is true. But let's actually talk about this map. I gotta say, from what we've seen in this image, I'm getting very reminiscent vibes of Fortnite Season 1. It looks very reminiscent of the original Fortnite map, just very basic and primitive, which is not a bad thing. I think that's exactly what we're going to want for a new map. And I think from this we can tell that we're probably going to be getting something that's very basic for us to learn, and then the map will again grow with us just like the old one did. Now, for those of you that didn't watch my last video, there actually has been a leaked name for all the locations, so I'll just go through them. So we have Beachy Bluffs, Camp Cod, Dirty Docks, Frenzy Farm, Holly Hedges, Lazy Lake, Mountain Meadow, Power Plant, Slurpy Swamp, Sunny Shores, and Weeping Woods. And just due to such a short list, I think this also confirms that the map we're going to be getting is quite basic. But I also wanted to try and go ahead and name the POI that we see in the teaser. And honestly, I think it's a pretty easy guess at what this one would be. It's definitely not a Beachy Bluff or a Camp Cod or a Dirty Dock. It's not a farm, I don't see any hedges, it's not a lake or a mountain meadow. It's not on a slurpy swamp next to a sunny shore or surrounded by weeping woods, so that leaves us with only one other spot, which is the power plant. So it's pretty blurry, but a first look at the power plant. Anyways, moving on from here though, the next thing you can actually see in this image is a new mobility item. And that, as you can see down in the river, is actually a boat. This to me is like a really good idea, I think, for the new season. People have been talking about boats for a long time, but there just haven't been enough river systems in the game to really make it work. So I'm expecting also, along with boats, that there's probably going to be a lot more water in this map. Since Season 3, every single season has brought in a new mobility item, so things like the ATKs, quad crashers, the ballers, and even slipstreams and mechs from Season 10. So Epic has always been implementing new and interesting ways to get around the map, and I'm guessing to start things out anyways, we're going to have boats. Now maybe we'll have something else, but at least as a water option, that is one vehicle that we're going to see in Fortnite Chapter 2. But also I want to take a look at the characters. While the middle and left character are probably a little bit familiar to you, the actual clothes that they're wearing are different. And what I'm expecting from this is it looks like the default skins are actually going to be getting a new outfit. So I wouldn't be surprised if Epic changes them and then allows the old ones in like a few months to be up for sale or something like that. That would be very Epic-like. But these are clearly not the normal default outfits we know. That's definitely Jonesy in the middle, and I think it's Ramirez on the left, but the guy on the right kind of doesn't look like any of them. So we could also be seeing a new template for a default skin, but it's just so blurry that there's a likelihood it is one of the other defaults. But on top of that, we also need to look at what those defaults are holding. So the one on the right has a pickaxe. I don't think that should be any surprise that pickaxes are going to be returning with the next season. But with the other two, we see the tactical shotgun and the Scar. I mean, they're two of the most iconic weapons to ever grace Fortnite, so I'm not surprised that they're going to be returning. So yeah, a new map full of new POIs, boats as mobility, new defaults, and the same old weapons are four things that we now have confirmed, you know, on top of the fact that it's an entire new chapter of Fortnite. But I've got 6 other things that I want to talk about that I think are very likely candidates that we will see in the new season. So moving on to our number 6 spot, I actually just want to quickly talk about night and day. So old Fortnite players will remember that the original night and day system looked a whole lot different than it does now. Nighttime felt a whole lot more like night than it does in current Fortnite. In fact, nighttime has been lightened up so much over the seasons that it really isn't even noticeable when it turns night. But back in the original days, nighttime felt unique and very different. And a lot of people have been calling for Epic to bring it back with the new map, which I think would actually be very fitting, as it would just feel reminiscent of a new start, sort of. It's one of those things that OG players look back to and are like, oh yeah, that was like, you know, a key component of the graphics of original Fortnite. And while it is a small detail, I think it's likely that Epic might want to play off that nostalgia to really get people hyped up for this new map. But moving on to our number 5 spot, we've got Zone Wars. So despite Season 10 being somewhat flaky, I think one of the most popular and exciting additions that have been added in this season are Zone Wars. Now, Zone Wars have been around for a while, but with this season, it was actually added in as a new game mode. But the thing with Zone Wars now is they're simply just user-created maps. And they've actually been really great, but I don't think Epic would just be as lazy enough to leave it at that. Epic sees that people love Zone Wars, so I really don't see why they wouldn't go ahead and create their own maps. The maps that we've been given are already amazing, so I'm sure that the actual team at Epic could do something even greater and maybe something a little bit more balanced. So I think it's very likely that we're going to see an Epic produced and very polished version of Zone Wars. Now moving on to number 4, we've got something that I've been wanting for a very long time, and that is custom presets. So you know when you go into your Fortnite locker and you're like, okay, I want to use this skin, but then you have to change every other single thing to make it match and change your camos and all that stuff. Well, what if they made it so that you could save an entire set for a skin? Kind of like Call of Duty loadouts, but instead of for weapons and perks, it's for skins. So you can have like maybe 5 to 10 slots, and then you basically just put a skin in with a back bling, pickaxe, glider, contrail, camo, and boom, save it, and you can just easily select between each one. That would save me so much time, and seeing as this is something that's been heavily requested from the community, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it added in with a new chapter. Now moving on to our number 3 spot, this is something that's been floating around the community really since the beginning of Fortnite, and I think it would make a nice addition with a new chapter. And that is both kill cam and play of the game. Kill cams are something that have been in so many video games, most predominantly again Call of Duty. So the ability to watch the replay from the player's perspective of how they killed you would be huge. It would be so great as a learning opportunity to see the mistakes you did, see yourself making, these errors, and then to learn from them. That's something that I've wanted since the beginning of Fortnite, and I think it would be very cool if they added it in. Also, a sort of play of the game or like replay of the game-winning kill or something like that in slow motion, that'd be nice too. Now, before we get down to our last 2, I just wanted to throw in a quick honorable mention. It's Siphon Returning. I don't think Siphon's gonna return to normal pubs because it's in arena, but I really want Siphon to return, so I just thought I'd throw that in for my fellow Siphon people. Anyways, moving on to number 2. So for sure, with the new season, we're going to be getting weapon changes. And there's 2 options basically, a complete overhaul of the weapon system or a more balanced and normal shift. So first, and at number 2, let's talk about a realistic weapon change. These are some weapons that I think might be likely for a change. First off, we actually have the heavy sniper being nerfed or removed. Now, I know a lot of people love the heavy sniper, and I do too, but I can see this weapon maybe getting some changes. A lot of people have been saying that 150 damage is very unfair, and to lower it down to 149 max, just so that you don't insta-die at 150 health. But it's also a weapon that's been in the game for a very long time now, so I could actually see it getting totally vaulted for a time. I don't want it vaulted, but I do think the idea of doing 149 damage is a whole lot more fair. When you get hit with that 150, it just really doesn't feel fair. And, if you were left with 1 HP, I mean, you're still probably dead, but it would be nice to just have a chance to, keep going. Another weapon that I think is very likely to get vaulted is the automatic sniper rifle. This was added in Season 10. I see nobody ever using it. It's just a pretty trash weapon, and I imagine they're probably going to remove it. Another is the hand cannon. We've got the normal revolver and the now higher tier revolver, and then we've also got the hand cannon, which to me all feel like a very similar weapon. I just feel like having 7 different types of this weapon in different rarities is quite redundant. So I wouldn't be surprised if Epic is going to remove some combination of them, but seeing as the revolver has all rarities, it's likely that maybe the hand cannon is going to get removed. And then lastly, the Tac Smg. So for sure the legendary version is going to get removed just due to it only being in Starry Suburbs. That's the place, Starry Suburbs. But I could also see maybe the purple version getting put down to 19 damage max, or maybe just them removing the purple version along with the gold. It's hard to say, but it is a very overpowered weapon that I think Epic is going to do something to fix. But what I think is even more likely, and coming in at number 1, is a total weapon revamp. I mean, we've got a brand new chapter of Fortnite. Think of this as a total reset. So wouldn't it make sense if with a new map, they did a total revamp of the weapons? Or should I say, a total revert? What if Epic were to go back to the original weapons only? This again would bring back a lot of nostalgia for people that played those old days, but also managed to just kind of give a fresh start to the game. None of these crazy weapons that people are kind of like not totally in love with, but just the originals that everybody knows. So as a list in total, this would include the normal assault rifle, the burst assault rifle, and the SCAR. And this would also include the original shotguns. So we'd see the common and uncommon pump, along with the uncommon, rare, and epic version of the Tac shotgun. That's right, just the OG purple Tac returning. For snipers, it would just be the bolt and the semi-auto. Basic and simple. For pistols, we would just have the normal semi-automatic pistol that's been in the game since launch, along with the revolver. We'd have the original SMG returning in blue, green, and gray variants. And then last but not least, the explosive weapons would be the RPG and the grenade launcher. Also, as they were added in just like 2 weeks after the launch of Fortnite, you could have the scoped assault rifle and the tactical SMG. I think that would be fine too. But just an overhaul of all the original weapons would be so incredible. I think this would be a really good way to introduce in a new map to kind of make people feel again like nostalgic for these old weapons and the old weapon system, but also make it feel fresh. Kind of just like a fresh start, you know? Anyways, that's what I really want to see. But regardless of what's exactly going to happen with this new season, I think that change is inevitable. As a wise man once said, change is the law of life, and change is coming with Chapter 2 of Fortnite. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is our video. This is very possibly going to be my last video for the first chapter of Fortnite. So just wanted to say thank you guys for always watching and sticking through in these. I honestly can't remember the last time I've been this excited for a new update with Fortnite. So I'm gonna have a lot of videos coming your way. And yeah, thanks a lot guys. I will talk to you later. Peace out, you freaking nerds. Let's get right into the video.